Hello everyone, it's your bud. In today's video we're going to be talking about Striga from Castlevania and Yasha from Critical Role. So I have noticed that these two characters are very similar. Just the other day I watched season 3 of Castlevania and there was a new character, Striga. She is one of the, Council of Sisters? That is Carmilla's council. And Striga is an enormously tall woman with long unkempt hair. Striga has the look of a strong warrior with a hulking muscular physique and thick armor. She has a very masculine appearance. She is the High General of Styria and the greatest warrior. She tends to be blunt, preferring honest, honorable tactics. Lenore, one of the other members of the council, notes that while most of the sisters play with their prey, Striga would kill it and move on. Striga is not afraid to share her honest advice with Carmilla. Striga works closely with Morana, and if you've watched the show, then she does more than work closely with Morana, and it really reminds me of Beau and Yasha's relationship from Critical Role. Morana isn't really like Beau, but the relationship between Morana and Striga is very similar, I think, to the sort of Beau Yasha tension that's going on. So between Morana and Striga, the two keep the kingdom of Styria running. They have long been lovers and work exceptionally well together, combining solid plans, supporting each other, and pushing each other to even greater heights. Striga is pleased with her life, but remembers the very hard road that led to her being a queen of Styria. She says in the show that she feels trapped by the past. Or not necessarily trapped, but she's someone who is unable to move on without that very, very clear remembrance of the past. Morana helps Striga to look past this and inspires her with the notion that she can soon lead the full military might of an empire, an imperial army. Striga is committed to making that dream and Carmilla's vision come true. Striga's power comes from her genius military strategy. In all matters military, Striga is an expert. She understands all military aspects of what is required to take and holds 800,000 miles of territory. Regarding the use of Hector, one of the Forge Masters, which I discussed in yesterday's video, she plans to use those powers to help fortify this territory. Striga routinely provides sound insight around the pitfalls of letting Hector develop military forces. And now let's talk a bit about Yasha. So Yasha is Ashley Johnson's character from Campaign 2 of Critical Role. She is a tall, muscular woman with very pale skin. Her hair is black and fades to white as it reaches the tips. Her hair's matted, dreaded, and braided. Her clothes are slightly tattered and she's a bit of a mess. Yasha has heterochromia, with one eye being light greenish blue and the other violet. She worships and wears the symbol of the Storm Lord upon her waist. While using her necrotic shroud, the parts of her hair that are white and her eyes both turn jet black. The necrotic shroud is an ability of her angelic form. The angelic form is known as Aasimar in D&D, and she is a fallen Aasimar, meaning she is a fallen angel, hence her ability to use a necrotic shroud. So she's like some dark fallen angel. According to Ashley, Yasha does not know that she is an Aasimar, believing that she's just weird. And that has not been explored at all in the show, so far she has no idea that what she is an actual race. She doesn't know that she's part of a species and an entire culture. She has no idea that there's a culture out there for her to join, which is pretty interesting. Could she be redeemed as an Aasimar? I can't wait to see when that part of the story comes to in Campaign 2. Yasha is shown to be very socially awkward and will rarely speak unless spoken to, very much like what I imagined Striga to be before she found the relationship with Morana, and Morana pushing her to become more open and more confident. She's often blunt or abrupt when talking to strangers, and is shown to be uncomfortable and fidgety when too much attention is brought on her. And I believe her abrupt, straightforward nature is why her and Beau get along so well together. Now we know that Yasha was controlled by this evil manipulative person, and this person manipulated her into doing some very, very terrible things. It's unknown how much of her previous life was barbarism and how much of it was specifically controlled by this evil person, yet Yasha has had a very, very interesting path, and Like I said, we don't know if her entire corrupted nature was because she was being controlled or because she's a simply lost, strong barbarian that does not realize she's part of the culture and species of Aasimar. She thinks she's a weird outcast and does not realize that her powers come from being a fallen Aasimar, and it is unknown how much of her past was because of her circumstances or because of being controlled and manipulated by Oban. Oban is just this mastermind who had great power over her and made her do terrible, terrible things. And it is unknown how many of the terrible things in Yasha's past were done by the direction of Oban or done before the corruption. So like I said, I noticed a huge similarity between Striga and Yasha. They look almost exactly the same. And when I see Striga, and not only when I see her, the name reminds me of like the Strigoi or whatever, the more like bestial vampires, that's what they're called, right? So immediately when I saw Striga, it reminded me of the Strigoi. Strigoi are from Warhammer, and they're the more bestial of the vampires. Many of the Lamian vampires, there's like different bloodlines. Some of them stayed pure, like the von Karsteins, when others of them, like the Strigoi, went bestial. So in the movie Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, when he actually drops his form and shows that giant bat form, almost like the Magog from Andromeda, a giant humanoid bat. So these Strigoi from Warhammer are an entire bloodline of these abominable bat-like humanoids that look kind of similar to the night monsters or night creatures from Castlevania. However, I think Striga's name is a hint to that, and it's really interesting. I do like the Council of Sisters from Castlevania, and I think Striga might be my favorite. That's just me though. And then Yasha, as soon as I saw Striga, I was like, wait, Yasha's in Castlevania? Because the only difference between Yasha and Striga physically is Yasha's hair fades to white, and she has a line on the bottom of her chin and sometimes does more with makeup. And I see Yasha's future having the same future of Striga, not the we're gonna take over and rule and have an empire, but to fall in love with someone, potentially Beau. If Beau and Yasha end up together, I think their relationship would mirror Striga and Morana's relationship. And Morana is very tactical, but let's see, I can't remember the roles that they each have, but each of the 4 of the Council of Sisters have a specific role. And Morana's personality isn't exactly the exact same as Beau's, but I think the relationship between Striga and Morana is very, very similar to the relationship that's building between Beau and Yasha. And whether that relationship in Critical Role just turns to friendship or anything more, I think the support that the relationship has and the confidence that it builds in both of them is the very same. So in Castlevania, Striga and Morana help each other be more than what they were when they found each other. And together with their other sisters, they founded the Council of Sisters and ruled an entire nation, and now plan to rule an empire. Beau and Yasha have both helped each other come to terms with who they are, as they're both shown to be comfortable with each other and don't expect much from the other. I don't think Yasha or Beau expects the other to change for them, and they just expect them to be who they are, and I think that gives both of them confidence. Beau and Yasha probably both second-guessed themselves very, very much, and having each other just sort of be friends without having the other one question the other's intent or reasoning, I think that shows just how close the two have become, that they never ever have questioned each other's actions or motives. It happened a little bit in the beginning, but that's just how D&D campaigns work. You sort of have to bounce off each other and see if there's some differences. But since then, I don't think they've ever confronted something about the nature of each other. Have Beau and Yasha ever confronted something about each other? I don't think Beau has ever accused Yasha's dark nature of being something that Yasha couldn't overcome, and I don't think that Yasha has ever accused Beau's just straightforward, accusatory nature of being something that she can't work on either. I think they've actually both just supported each other, and I could see Beau and Yasha becoming a pair very much like Striga and Morana. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this interesting. If you haven't watched Castlevania or Critical Role, you're not going to know anything about this. So for my subscribers that like things like My Hero Academia and Dragon Prince, there are 2 great shows that you have to watch, Castlevania and Critical Role. Critical Role has Campaign 1, which has an entire, hundreds and hundreds of hours of fun to watch, and Campaign 2 has advanced really far, so there's a lot to watch there. So if you're interested in learning more, then there's some great shows, or I can talk about it here on this channel. So leave this video a like if you're interested in more of this topic. A like shows me you're interested in some more Castlevania or Critical Role. I do have some more Castlevania videos and Critical Role on this channel, just one of each so far, but they will be linked at the end. So thanks for watching. Subscribe for daily videos. I make a new video every single day on this channel, and leave any questions or suggestions in the comments below. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching.